him. So I started to dream by design and not by default. I started working on my health and well-being, which led to deeper relationship with my children, my mom, siblings, and even created new connections. This then increased or boosted my confidence and increased my performance level at work. Manifestations started happening. I got promoted after how many years of applying, following the advice of some friends to downsize and apply for grants and scholarships. To make the long story short, he finished applied food studies at CIA and now managing 15 schools as a brigade chef in Fresno, California, training cooks on how to prepare meals from scratch rather than serving students processed food. He used to be a farmer during COVID and now advocating sustainability in the food industry. My daughter is a project manager and a volunteer firefighter. Why? It was the volunteer firefighter who tried to revive her dad when he collapsed on the road. For her, it's payback time by saving lives. So what have I learned from this journey? I have realized that challenges molded me to become the person I am right now. A lot stronger, creative, resilient, resourceful, and more compassionate. Now I'm committed to live my purpose, to be a blessing for someone so they may be the best version of themselves. Now I'm committed and passionate about educating people that they have the true power within them to live the life they love. I used to be a warrior and now turned into a light warrior, providing light for others. We always tell ourselves that we only have 10-watt bulb. Excuse me, that 10-watt bulb still has a spark of light when you put that in a dark room. That is your gift or your talent given to you by God. Why not change that 10-watt bulb to a 200-watt bulb? How? Get rid of all those blockages that stop you from moving forward towards your dream. What are those? Those are your fears, limiting beliefs, doubts, and worries. Just like a window, you won't be able to see what is outside if you don't clean your window. It will stop you from discovering the opportunities waiting for you outside. Make sure your lamp is not positioned in a room. Make sure your lamp is positioned on a lamp post. So those traveling in the dark may be guided by your light, so they may reach their destination, and that is their dream or their purpose. That's how I became a light warrior. Share your light so others may also share their light to the people they meet. I just want to see each one living in peace, spreading love and compassion here on earth. Thank you so much, Dr. Real.
Just drop the mic. I was just taking notes and you were like, this is the end. I'm like, come on, I'm still listening. You've shared how you were able to become the light warrior after your own trauma experience from of being a victim of domestic violence. And it's sad how in-laws can actually shift the blame to the victim actually after all this. And you've also shared how you also overcame your own major roadblock, which was the fear that was holding you back and stopping you from manifesting your own dream. Thank you so much, Cynthia, for sharing such a profound, much needed message. Thank you so much for sharing your personal story so that, you know what, that soul who is watching and listening under your voice can be transformed the way you were transformed. Thank you. Thank you, Cynthia.
Thank you. Thank you.
So now we are going to Pennsylvania, where we have Dr. Era J. Klekzik. Did I say it right now? Perfect. So Dr. Era J. Klekzik is a distinguished leader in the healthcare analytics and operational excellence, recognized for advancing medicine, drug development, and equitable healthcare access. Her groundbreaking work and her the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award in 2023 and the PMSA Lifetime Achievement Award in 2024. With nearly 2 decades of experience, Dr. Kleczik specializes in healthcare data quality and validation, providing actionable insights that empower pharmaceutical, biotech, and healthcare organizations to meet critical patients' needs. A sought-after speaker at premier conferences such as PMSA, she also contributes to academic publications, podcasts, and live streams while mentoring aspiring data analysts, particularly women pursuing leadership roles. So Dr. Kleczyk's advocacy for women in healthcare has earned her honors like a Rising Star and luminary from the Healthcare Business Women Association and recognition as a top 25 technology leader in PA and top 25 women in biotechnology. She co-founded the Kleczik Stroud Foundation, supporting healthcare and education initiatives. Active in her community, excuse me, Dr. Kleczik serves on several boards, including the Community Cancer Council for the Northern Light Health Network, and the Sisterhood Extravaganza Advisory Board, while chairing the College Advisory Board at the University of Maine. Originally from Wrocław, Poland, she holds a doctorate from the Virginia Tech and resides in Lansdale, Pennsylvania with her husband. So, kings and queens, please join me and welcome Dr. Kleczik.
Well, thank you so much. It is a pleasure being here, first of all, and thank you so much for the great welcome. Cynthia, your story was extremely inspiring, so thank you for sharing, and thank you for being vulnerable in front of us and sharing that story. I'm sure many women listening can relate and can take the key insights from this. As we are thinking about women's journey, I always ask about why do women don't take more risk? Why do women don't take more positions? Why do women feel that they are not worth of what they need to achieve? And one of the things that very often comes out is always feeling like they are an imposter in the room. They are thinking that someone's going to find out that they do not know everything that they need to know, and ultimately their success or their personal achievements will end. So here I am today speaking to you about the topic that is very near and dear to me, and I think it's something that many women will recognize in their personal as well as professional lives, is the imposter syndrome. Everyone knows what it is, but no one really knows what it is. So let me tell you what it is. The imposter syndrome is really feeling like someone is going to know that you do not have all of the skills or the aptitude to be who you want to be. And whether it's usually very much perceived has nothing to do with the reality, but it's a big driver, extreme driver to the success of women in professional lives. For example, when we are looking at women in their lives, many of them, nearly 90% are saying that they felt some point in their career or even daily, they feel that they are not adequate to be who they want to be, to succeed in their daily lives, to take the risk, to raise their hand and say, I want to do this. Interestingly, imposter syndrome is not only related to women, or the majority of individuals suffering from it are women. 70% of workers in the United States are saying that they have felt an imposter syndrome anytime throughout their careers. Furthermore, 75% of executive women feel that they are in their positions, but someone is going to find out that they shouldn't be there. And when I was reading many of these papers, I was thinking to myself, oh my goodness, what does it mean? What does it mean that we can't, as women, say to ourselves, yes, you are worth to be here. Yes, you need to be here, because being here changes the perspective, changes the message, changes the innovation, and moves us forward. So very often when I speak to women and mentor women, and to be honest, myself, there is a few things that come up. Well, I have a lot. I want to be a superwoman. I have a lot on my plate. I need to know everything there is to need to know about technology, data science, whatever the area might be. I need to do everything by myself because no one else can do this. That might be right. However, when you're thinking about it, this is where the issue starts coming in. So let me talk to you about the few symptoms, the few types of imposter syndrome that most of us deal with. First of all, the perfectionist. How many of you in your lives have said, oh my goodness, my house is not clean enough. Oh my goodness, I have not finished all of the laundry. Oh, I should have written this paper and I haven't, right? That's when we start talking about being a perfectionist. Well, there's only 24 hours in a day, and you have to sleep potentially 7 to 8 of them. You have to eat, you have to take care of yourself, take a shower and so forth. How many days, how many hours are actually left to get everything done? And I think that perfectionism creates a lot of the faults and a lot of the angst that we are feeling in defining what success means to us. The second thing is, which women suffer, all of us suffer, especially those having families and taking care of elderly parents, is being a superwoman. How many of us have felt, I have to do everything? We just, in the United States, just had a Thanksgiving, and I'm sure many women listening right now were on Wednesday night having a panic attack. Oh my goodness, I have to now cook for 30 people coming to my house. My house is not clean. I haven't done this. And work keeps calling me, asking me to finish something because it's due at 7 p.m. to the client. How many of us do that? This is another thing that many women, especially women, feel about, that they have to do everything for everyone and never do anything for themselves. The next one is being the expert. I have a PhD. What does it mean? That at some point I chose to be an expert in an area. Many of us choosing to do certain, becoming an expert in an area, we are saying, I want to know every single detail that there is. How many of us actually stop and think that there is no possible way that you can know everything there is, especially technology? Today we talk about AI, tomorrow might be something different. So let's give ourselves that pat on the back and say, I can't do this. I cannot be a soloist, perfect woman, perfect mother. I cannot do it all. So one of the things that I always talk about women is, first of all, recognize that none of us are perfect. And success is no definition of knowing everything and doing everything right. Success is messy. Success is reaching out to individuals like we are right now on the podcast and learning from each other, surrounding ourselves with women and men who are supportive of our vision. Success is thinking, or the pathway we are choosing is thinking, what is the right thing for us? What are we trying to do? What is important to me today? What is important to me this year? Life is very long. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. So why not thinking about it and saying, I know that I need to write a book this year. I want to go a little bit more with my podcast. I want to get my career at a better place, but giving ourselves the place to breathe. If we surround ourselves with individuals who are supportive of us, who giving ourselves a break, who are applauding every time we do something right, that imposter syndrome starts disseminating because you know that you can do it. The one thing that I want to mention as I am finalizing my thoughts is the imposter syndrome happens because many of us in our careers are not necessarily feeling adequate, and the boardrooms and the meeting rooms don't reflect the diversity they should be reflecting. How many of us have been the one woman, the only woman of color, the only woman of certain beliefs in the room? I'm sure all of us have had it. And I think by us thinking about the imposter syndrome as a way of a cultural creation that we can overcome, we can be the one person that can create a change and bring us all together. And I think that's what I want to say about imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is making feel us like we don't belong, but we actually do. It just needs, you need to change how you're thinking about what you want to do. So thank you so much. As I come down to the last sentence, I truly appreciate it.
Wow. Wow. Dr. Elwa, thank you so much. You've shared on actually how you can actually recognize and address imposter syndrome, because you've mentioned that we need to understand the signs and symptoms of imposter syndrome, which includes self-doubt. And, we always want to be perfect in life, the perfectionism that we are actually going through. And also, you've also explored how societal expectations and the pressure to excel in multiple roles contribute to our feelings, to these feelings of imposter syndrome. And I just love the way, because you just brought us to the actual reality. Yesterday was Thanksgiving in the US, the way you were expecting those guests to come into your house and it's all on you, cleaning the house, preparing the dishes. Really, it's high time we take care of ourselves first. Thank you so much, Dr. Klezik, for sharing such a profound, much needed message around imposter syndrome. Thank you. So now we are going to Ontario, where we have Marissa Robinson. Marissa Robinson is a proud single mother to an amazing, amazing 10-year-old son. For 15 years, she has endured psychological abuse, and for 6 years after that, she struggled with the aftermath. Negative thought cycles, low self-esteem, lack of boundaries, and feeling trapped in her own skin. Marissa worked hard to hide her pain from her son while barely holding herself together. So about a year ago, she hit a turning point after years of therapy and social work that helped her cope, but it didn't break the cycle. Marissa attended a free live event on Create the Life You Desire. That moment sparked a transformation. She immersed herself in personal growth, journaling, mindset work, and self-empowerment practices. And today, Marissa coaches women through her private community, helping them shift from surviving to thriving using the same techniques that changed her life. In just a few months, she has been privileged to support women across the globe, connect them with another, and see her resources positively impact lives. Marissa is saying that it's an honor to share my journey and inspire others to reclaim their power and create the future that they deserve. So, kings and queens, please join me and welcome Marissa Robinson.
Thank you so much. And I just want to say thank you to the two speakers before me. I could definitely resonate with both of you. So that was fantastic. Thank you. So imagine living in a world where your thoughts, decisions, and identity are shaped by someone else. That was my reality for years as a victim of psychological abuse. Leaving the relationship was one battle, but what came after that was an entirely different war. The invisible scars that no one could see, but I felt every single day. Today, I want to share my journey and teach you 3 key lessons about healing. So, understanding the aftermath of abuse, rebuilding from survival to self-empowerment, and the transformative power of mindset. When I left the abusive situation, I thought the hardest part was over. But what I didn't realize was that the aftermath, the mental and emotional toll, was just the beginning. So for 6 years, I lived in my own head. I was trapped by the limiting beliefs that had been ingrained in me. And I struggled to make decisions. I doubted myself constantly, and I felt unworthy. These invisible scars affected everything. They affected the way I viewed myself, the relationships I formed, and even what I ate and how I felt about my body. One of the hardest parts was the isolation. So some friends and people around me would say, oh, like after I had left the abuse, they were like, I can't believe you stayed in that relationship for so long, or I don't know how you did it. I saw things weren't good and I wanted to help you, but I knew you were in the relationship. I didn't want to hurt you. And even though their words and thoughts were well-meaning, it only deepened my shame. So the truth is that domestic violence is not just physical, it's emotional, it's psychological. There's other forms of it, and it is deeply isolating. So without the proper support, those invisible wounds fester and they lead to patterns of self-doubt and negativity. It's also important to understand trauma bonds. So these are emotional ties that make it incredibly hard to leave and stay away from an abuser. The brain becomes conditioned to see the abuser as both the source of pain, but also the solution to it. So breaking free from this cycle is a critical step to move towards healing. In survival mode, every decision feels like life or death. I spent years in this state. Even after leaving the abuse, it was so exhausting. And even after I sought help through shelters, therapy, and support groups, I found that the relief that I had was only temporary. Eventually, I would slip back into the negative thought spirals. And at times, going back to the abuser can feel like it's the only familiar option. And this is why so many women return to abusive situations, because it feels safer than going through the chaos in their own minds at the time. But rebuilding begins when you realize that survival mode isn't enough. You deserve more than just surviving, you deserve to thrive. So for me, the turning point came when I started to explore personal growth and self development. I realized I couldn't rely solely on the external support. I had to take ownership of my own healing. And it wasn't easy, and it required me to challenge the beliefs that I'd carried for years. But each small step I took, from setting boundaries to raising my standards to learning how to trust myself again, brought me closer to self empowerment. The hardest but most rewarding part of my journey was shifting my mindset. For years, I saw myself as a victim. And now it's important to acknowledge what happened to us. But staying in that victim mindset, that's what will keep us stuck. I realized that I had a choice. I could let my past define me, or I could redefine myself. And this is where the mindset work became transformative. I learned that our beliefs shape our reality, and by changing those beliefs, we can change our lives. I started practicing gratitude affirmations. I learned effective ways to journal. I learned visualization techniques and other strategies. And I had to remind myself every day that I was capable, I was worthy, and I was strong. Within weeks, I began to see and feel shifts. I started to rebuild my identity, not as a victim, but as a victor. So it's not about forgetting what happened, it's about using it as a stepping stone. The most powerful thing that we can do is take what tried to break us and turn it into fuel for growth. So I stand before you today as someone who lived through the invisible scars of domestic violence and came out stronger on the other side. My journey wasn't easy, and it still continues, but I've learned that healing is possible. If there's one message I'd like you to take away, it's this: you are not defined by what happened to you. You have the power to rewrite your story, to move from survival to self empowerment, and to transform your mindset from victim to victor. One of the most beautiful outcomes of this journey has been the impact on my son. As I've worked to become the best version of myself, I've seen how it benefits him. The lessons I've learned about self worth, setting boundaries, and growth are shaping the way I parent. We share an incredible relationship built on trust, understanding, and love. It reminds me every day that healing doesn't just change us, it transforms the lives of those we love as well. That is why I've made it my mission to help other women who feel stuck where I once was. I want to guide them to take control over their lives, redefine themselves, and break free from survival mode. My goal is to teach techniques that aren't just temporary fixes, but lasting tools to help empower them to live, women to live their best lives, to thrive, to heal, and to grow, and to go from victim to victor. Thank you so much.
Wow, wow. Marisa, you've shared every nugget. You've started by, am I unmuted? Let me just double check. Yeah, okay. You've started sharing from your experience the invisible scars of domestic violence, understanding the aftermath, and you've also shared on your experience from survival mode to self-empowerment, and then from there you were able to empower others. You'll have to rebuild your life after abuse, and lastly, you've shared on the power of mindset, which is shifting from being a victim now, and you use all those experiences to become a victor, from victim to victory, through your empowered mindset. Because I believe it's a mindset thing. You've mentioned that some of victims, they just decided they decide to go back to the abuser because they feel like, it's a safe haven in there, but you are being abused in that relationship. Thank you so much for being an inspiration and for being, a role model to your son, sharing this wonderful life, just guiding them. It's such an experience. Thank you so much, Marisa, for sharing such a profound, much needed message.
Thank you.
I believe our audience really, from all of your amazing messages, they've been inspired, they've been motivated, and they will definitely rise to greater heights. I can see, let me just double check if we have any question being posted. I can see Benoit Mtusi watching, and he's giving us all the love, all the hearts that we really deserve in this group. Maria is saying, she's saying, thank you, Cynthia. And Princess Sebe is saying, what an inspiration. I can also see Annalie watching. And all of these amazing audience, really, they've been inspired by all of your amazing messages. They've been motivated, and they will definitely rise to greater heights in so doing. So it's not going to be a show without me showing up and show off, but I'm going to be the next speaker. But before I speak, what I'm going to do, let me share my bio with you, and I'll come back and speak. So please do enjoy.
I want you, as you think about your dreams and goals, to put this down. Rise to greater heights. Rise to greater heights, because you need to be clear about your career goals in order for you to gain guidance on professional development. Really, my goal as a mentor or as a coach is so simple. My goal is to study your current situation, identify limiting beliefs and other potential obstacles that you might be facing, and then design a plan of inspired action to empower you to pursue success and drive sustainable. I think whosoever said that the sky is the limit was wrong. From today on, I, Dr. Riel and Kunene, believe that the sky is our point of view. Mom. So I think whosoever said that the sky is the limit was wrong. From today on, I, Dr. Riel and Kunene, believe that the sky is our point of view. So let's all rise to greater heights. Point of view. So let's all rise to greater heights. Rise to greater heights.
Dr. Nampumelelo Rial Kunene is an international human rights policy analyst who consults on policies and procedures related to human rights compliance. She is a highly sought-after, energetic, certified Lace Brown international speaker. This passionate leader holds a PhD with a discipline in leadership and business. Dr. Rial N. Kunene is the author and host to Rise to Greater Heights, a book and YouTube channel to turn your fears into greater success while seizing new opportunities. She is also a coach, mentor, and an MC, well known for encouraging many to rise from mediocrity into greatness. Her vision is not only to motivate, but also to empower audiences with a fresh perspective inspiration they require to pursue success and drive sustainable outcomes. In a seriously funny way, Dr. Kunene is an award-winning author, 10 times #1 Amazon and international best-selling author. Her #1 best-selling book, Rise to Greater Heights, has inspired and empowered many to pursue their personal and professional passion to become go-getters. As a trainer, diplomacy protocol officer, and strategist, Rial believes that we are in full control of our choices. Her mission is to meet the needs and transform lives of her clients and her audience. She is also a true advocate for creating new policies that uphold human rights and prevent human rights violations. Dr. Kunene's purpose is to teach everyone about human rights and help organizations understand and promote human rights. Her goal is to study your current situation, identify limiting beliefs, then design a plan of inspired action to empower you to achieve specific outcomes in your life. This change maker, trailblazer, and revolutionary is pushing boundaries and creating a real change worldwide. Like a phoenix that never accepted defeat and rose from its own ashes, she wants to challenge you to unleash your greatness and rise to greater heights. Dr. Rial N. Kunene wears many hats. As a professional certified sales manager, CEO, certified travel counselor, publisher, medical esthetician, philanthropist, and a commissioner for oaths, Following her dreams gave her purpose to see her goals through and understand that she does have everything she needs to reach her full potential. Her everyday message is that your journey to be a better person starts with you. So knowing who you are to your core will make you understand that you are the only one who can accomplish your dreams. Hebrews 11, Psalms 27 and 40 keeps her to rise to greater heights. The sky is no longer the limit, but now the sky is our point of view. So let's all rise to greater heights. Kings and queens, please join me. Welcome, Dr. Rial Nkunene.
Thank you so much, amazing speakers. You've shared all the nuggets. When you speak of domestic violence, we speak of human rights. When you speak of imposter syndrome, we speak of human rights, really. What I'm going to share with you, I'm going to share mainly on the human rights, educational aspect of human rights, because Cynthia, on the other side, she mentioned that how she was able to become a light warrior after her trauma experience of being a victim of domestic violence. And then Dr. Klezik, on the other side, she was like, we'll have to understand the signs and symptoms of imposter syndrome, which include like self-doubt, attributing success to external factors, as well as perfectionism. And then Marisa, on the other side, she was like, you know what, I've been there, the invisible scars of domestic violence. You'll have to understand the aftermath. And then from there, you'll have to move from the survival mode to self-empowerment. And then you're going to be able to empower others. So I'm going to ask you, what comes into your mind when you hear the word human rights? Human rights. You can just drop it in the chat box. I'll come back and check if you have a clear understanding of human rights, because human rights are the fundamental rights and freedoms that are inherent to all human beings, regardless of your gender, nationality, place of residence, sex, ethnicity, religion, or even your skin color. So human rights are not just about the law. Thus, human rights are non-discriminatory, meaning that all human beings are entitled to them, and you can never, ever be excluded from your own human rights. Kings and queens, you really don't have to see the whole staircase in life to get to the top, but you need to take the first step to get to the top. As my mentor always say, that you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to become great in life. So get started by taking that baby step in the right direction, because my everyday book, it says that learn to do good, seek justice, correct oppression, bring justice to the fatherless, and plead the widow's cause. So get started today by doing good, seek justice, correct oppression, and bring justice to the fatherless, and also plead the widow's cause. So if you're that entrepreneur who dream of reshaping your world through your business, and envision several extra commas in your bank account, and you find yourself blocked on your journey to success, trust me, I am the answer. Oh, hi, by the way, I'm Dr. Rial Nkunene, and I'm not for the timid, but I am the rocket fuel that your business needs to blast past barriers. So as your business strategist and optimizer, what I do, I empower motivated professionals to discover their full potential and shape them into growth overdrive. So from owning 2 diverse companies to having experience as a CEO and guiding Fortune 100 companies, to helping multi-million-dollar enterprises, I believe that I have a distinctive talent for empowering high-achieving coaches, elite startups, business leaders to become dominant forces in their industries, because I believe that the sky is no longer the limit, but now the sky is our point of view. So let's all rise to greater heights. Be in charge of your own driver's seat. Be the one responsible for your own driver's seat, because I believe that we all have a voice, but not everyone knows how to use it. So as an advocate for human rights, what I do really, I encourage change makers and educate them on the issues at hand so that their voices can be heard too. So I work with individuals in charge, listening closely before calling out issues that needs change, because I serve not just as a vocal protester, but I go one step further by encouraging these changes through education, instead of merely telling government leaders why something needs fixing, which happens quite frequently. Hence, I'm here today to educate everyone to get to know their human rights so that you will know when your human rights have been violated. Always seek person, kings and queens, always seek person. Try by all means to get familiar about your human rights so that you will know when your rights have been violated. It's a wake-up call. It's a wake-up call to get more knowledge about human rights. It's a wake-up call. But when that alarm clock goes off, please, 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 don't ever hit the snooze button. Don't be like, I will wake up in the next 2 minutes. I will wake up in the next 4 minutes. You know what? Forever is a long time. Why don't you wake up? Get going and get familiar about human rights. So our organization, it fills a critical role in society by providing valuable services that governments may not always be able to deliver. From poverty relief to human rights advocacy, we are vital for supporting the most vulnerable members of our communities. So we're an integral part of society, and we are involved like globally in human rights, climate change, and humanitarian aid, because I believe that there are many ways in which we need to persuade governments to adopt human rights related legislation. Some of these include providing information for the general public through exhibits, side events, informal speeches, or maybe perhaps like in lobbying officials, maybe during meetings and negotiations, because I believe that's when diplomacy and protocol steps in. If your business have some dealings with the government, you'll have to have at least that sense of diplomacy and protocol. But we'll have to understand one thing, kings and queens, that you can't give from an empty cup. You need to fill up your cup first. And then from the overflow, you're going to be able to share with the world. From the overflow, you're going to be able to empower, transform others. But you need to fill up your cup first. So it's high time you fill up your cup first around human rights so that you're going to be able to go out there and share with the world. If you can please write this down, write this down. Diplomacy and protocol. Diplomacy and protocol, because diplomacy and protocol, it scrutinizes the manners of global relations using the ability and discretion in dealing with others on an international scope. So it is really indispensable in today's universal economy, because being conscious of societal etiquettes and the practice of upright conducts on a daily basis, it will kind of enable you to be more effective in almost all business activities. So diplomacy is a skill that plays an essential role in many areas of our lives with a generous amount of patience, because for you to be able to work towards understanding others' views, you'll have to have that diplomatic skill. And protocol, on the other side, is a significant part of diplomatic practice to ensuring that roles are being directed according to official societal laws. So I also wrote a book, by the way, and this diplomacy book, diplomacy and protocol book, it covers all the vital basics of practice that simplify international communications, and it will give you practical insights that will kind of help you to expand your efficiency in wide range of settings. As flight attendants always say that, you know what, put on your oxygen mask first before you assist the person who is sitting next to you, because if you don't, trust me, when that flight goes down, you will definitely go down. So it's high time you put on that oxygen mask first to yourself. Because the reality is, your journey to be a better person, it doesn't start with your neighbor. It doesn't start with your spouse. It doesn't start with your children, but your journey to become a better person, it starts with you. So knowing who you are to your core, it will make you understand that you have everything around you to reach your full potential. So don't ever give up on your heart's desires. Just recall this, just in case you can't find your way now, that you can have the drive within you to become what you really want in life. I am always a firm believer of affirmations. So we're going to affirm this together. We're going to affirm this together as if we're taking an oath. So I'm going to ask you if you can please place your left hand on your chest. We're going to affirm this together, and then you're going to raise your right hand. If you can place your left hand on your chest and raise your right hand and say this with me, that I can have the drive within me to become what I really want in life.
To become what I really want in life.
Can you say it one more time as if you have faith in your own powerful voice? And guess what? It will echo throughout the whole universe. Say, I can have the drive within me
I can have the drive within me
to become what I really want in life.
to become what I
what
really want in life.
You know what? Just give yourself a round of applause, because yes, you can have the drive within you to get where you want to be in the next 6 months, to become what you really want to be in life. The drive is just inside of you. It's not from the outside of you. You know, it's so funny how my mom and dad gave me this beautiful, beautiful name, Nompumelelo. I know many when they try, by the way, Cynthia, you surprised me when you say my name right. So many when they try to say my name, they always butcher my name. But really, Nompumelelo in my own language, it means mother of all success. So you
Wow.
can see that I am really, really challenged to chase after success. No matter what comes my way, I love to chase after success. So if I may ask you, how many of you have dreams and goals that you want to achieve? Maybe let me say in the next 6 months. I know myself, I am one of those. I want you, as you think about your dreams and goals, to put this down. Rise to greater heights. Rise to greater heights, because you need to be clear about your career goals in order for you to gain guidance on professional development. So as a human rights analyst, really my purpose is so simple. My purpose is to teach everyone about human rights and also help as many organizations as I can to help them to understand and promote human rights. So I also make a difference by bringing solutions and educating others, because remember that a right is a freedom of some kind. It doesn't matter where we're born or what kind of family we're born into. I believe that we all have the internal recognition of the moral quality of one's motives and actions. It was Nelson Mandela who once said, to deny people their human rights is to challenge their very humanity. To deny people their human rights is to challenge their very humanity. And trust me, this message, it's that something within me, because I am a true advocate for creating new policies that uphold human rights and prevent human rights violations from even happening in the first place. So what I do, I consult on policies and procedures related to human rights compliance. I advise on best practices for implementing human rights programs. And I can also assist with audits of operations against international standards. I do research and help draft human rights related policies such as discrimination at workplace, harassment at work, diversity and inclusion, patients' rights, and many more human rights related policies, because I have the duty of raising awareness of people's rights and providing solutions, really. I believe that an essential thing in human rights is based on the principle of respect for the individual. Each individual deserves respect, no matter who they are or what they do. They deserve respect. You know, I so wish that you can just tell yourself that, you know what, all these amazing speakers have shared more nuggets around human rights, domestic violence, imposter syndrome. It's high time I go out there and be the change. It's high time you go out there and make a difference in your community, to your loved ones, to those who look at you as an inspiration. But in order for you to go out there and be the change and make a difference, you've got to be hungry. You've got to be hungry, like a hungry lion in the jungle. Really, that hungry lion in the jungle, it doesn't matter what kind of animal comes his way. It doesn't matter if you had that giant elephant or that small squirrel by the jungle. All that hungry lion sees in front of his face is lunch. And it's so funny though, because even with elephants, what they do when they see a lion is that they run. It's all about the mindset. Once you believe, you become. They already told themselves that, you know what? I am a lunch to that lion. So each and every time when I say lion, I'll have to run. I believe that's the lion mindset that we need in order for us to be able to overcome all the challenges that we experience through, to be victors instead of victims. We need that lion mindset, because no one ever told the lion that you're going to be the king of the jungle, but it's a mindset thing. Once you believe, you become. You know, it's so funny. When I was in the 8th grade, I'm gonna cut the story short here. When I was in the 8th grade, I was nicknamed Phoenix. I was nicknamed Phoenix after writing a composition using the idiomatic expression that says, I rose from the ashes like a phoenix bird, meaning I became successful. Really, that English teacher didn't know that the nickname Phoenix, it resonates with me, and it also aligns with my destiny. So for those of you who don't know the phoenix bird, the phoenix is a Greek mythological bird believed to rise from its own ashes after being buried like hundreds of years ago. This immortal creature acquires new life by rising from the ashes of its own ancestor, which represents our capacity for vision and success. So I want to encourage you, if you're watching and listening under my voice today, that when your world comes crashing down, wear your scars to show how a phoenix feels like to die from inside, and trust in your own capability to rise from your own ashes, since the phoenix has to die, burn, experience pain before resurrection from its own ashes. Please write this down. Write this down in conclusion. Resilience to greatness. Resilience to greatness. And I know you've heard this before, that your setback is your setup for your comeback. Your setback is your setup for your comeback. So if I can be honest with you, I don't know what goals you've set for the next 6 months. I don't know what dreams you have for your own future. But here's one thing I know about you. You are destined for greatness. Inside of you, God has put seeds of excellence. Those seeds are supposed to grow and flourish. But one thing I've realized is that many people, they usually step over other people to get to the top. But I believe that with God, we are all destined for greatness as long as we follow his strategy. This is when the growth commences, because discovering your gifts and following God's idea, it will make you understand that you have everything around you to reach your full potential. My everyday inspiration, Mr. Ellis Brown, he once said, if you had to die today, at this very moment, at this hour, what dreams, what ideas, what visions, what goals, what skills, what talents, and what books will die with you? And then the late Dr. Miles Monroe continued saying that the richest place on this planet is the cemetery, because that's where all the goals, all the visions, all the skills, all the talents have been buried. Honestly, I don't know about you, but with me listening to all these amazing messages, it stirred something within me. And that was when I decided, I will follow my dreams, which gave me a purpose to see my goals through and understand that I do have everything I need to reach my full potential. So this year, I'm also determined to rise to greater heights with as many motivated individuals who are maybe ready to start, grow, and scale their businesses within 90 days. Perhaps you're that individual who started writing that book, and then you were like, you know what? I don't have time for this. You decided to put that manuscript aside. I'm here to encourage you that, yes, you can write and publish that #1 bestseller book by being so focused. So I'm here. I'm going to offer a free, no obligation, 30-minute friendly Zoom consultation call, which will kind of allow me to learn about the issues that you're experiencing, and also to see if you're a perfect fit for any of my programs, because I just want to empower you to become a highly effective and an inspiring leader with a kind of personalized, measurable, but a scalable program. So go on my website and book that free consultation call with me at www.risetogreaterheights.com. And yes, everything I do in business, it comes with a guarantee, because my ultimate goal is that you feel extremely confident about your purpose. So we will take it one step at a time, and you are definitely going to transform. So if you give me your why, I will show you the how. So go out there and book that free consultation call, because you know what? Growing up, I didn't have much in life, and because my father, he decided to have an early departure from this planet Earth. And I thank God that I missed that flight, because I'm still here. I'm still sharing my message. I'm still impacting as many lives as much as I can, because I had everything because of my mama's love. And I love you, love you, love you, love you, love you so much, Mom. So I think whosoever said that the sky is the limit was wrong. From today on, I, Dr. Riel Nkunene, believe that the sky is our point of view. So let's all rise to greater heights. Thank you so much, amazing speakers. So at this moment, please feel free to share with the audience how they can reach out to you, how they can work with you. If you happen to have any freebie that you want to offer to the audience, please share now. And remember to also share your final thoughts on human rights, domestic violence, imposter syndrome. So Cynthia, the stage is yours, Queen.
Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Yes. Yes. If you would like to get in touch with me, my website is dreamtorise.info. Everything is there. I also have my Dream to Rise Inner Circle, wherein it's a mastermind group. We meet every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And my main objective of having this inner circle is to help my members rise and shine. And for my podcast, it's also there at the website, and other speaking engagements which I've just had, and the coming events that I have posted also in the website, and also my books, which you have mentioned, my 4 books. And if you need to get in touch with me, just book a free chat. It's on 30 minutes, and then you could connect with me on Facebook, Cynthia Concordia, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and YouTube. Okay, for my last advice, I want to share, because I focus on fear, right? Most of us, that's the major roadblock we have, fear. And I would like to share with you my 4 simple steps. First, the acronym. Now I'm taking the acronym. Feel your fear. We are fearful. Why? Because we don't want to experience pain. The good news is fear is transient, as emotions only last up to 90 seconds, according to research. So when you feel fear, especially if there's no existential threat, just tell yourself it's just fear, nothing more, nothing less. At least you acknowledge that there's fear. And then the next one is embrace your fear. Embrace it as a partner. It is fine to partner with fear as long as this is not taking over the driver's seat. You should still be in control of your life, holding the steering wheel. Fear will just push you to go out of your comfort zone. Actually, remember, opportunities are actually at the borderline of your comfort zone. And then the next one is act on it. Take that uncomfortable action. Take risk. Remember, the risk of not taking action is actually greater than the risk of moving forward. So then the last one is repeat. Repeat the process, and you will discover that the intensity of your fear will diminish because you'll become stronger. Now you are in control of your fear instead of fear overpowering you. Well, these are my just 4 simple steps on how to overcome fear, and I challenge each and every one to apply it. Feel it, embrace it, act on it, and do that all over again. Thank you so much again, Dr. Real, for giving me the opportunity to be here and share my story and my message to the world. Thank
Oh, wow, Cynthia, you've mentioned the acronym of fear, that just feel it first, and then after that you embrace it, and then take action, and then repeat the same. So kings and queens, go out there and reach out to Cynthia. Dream to life, right?
Dream to rise. Dream to rise.
Dream to rise.
The same as rising.
Yes. Dreamtorise.info and reach out to Cynthia. You can find her on all social media platforms at Cynthia Concordia. And you need Cynthia in your life. Go and grab her books and start reading those books, because you need someone who's going to hold you accountable for your own actions. And Cynthia is a go-to. Thank you so much, Cynthia, for sharing with our audience.
Thank you.
You can go ahead, Dr. Klekzik, please, and share with the audience.
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me here. Thank you for those who joined us and listened to the inspiring thoughts and the real stories of women who have survived and who are now inspiring us. So thank you so much. For anyone who would like to get in touch with me, connect with me, you can reach me on Instagram at Dr. Ewa Kleczyk. You can see how my name is spelled, EWAKLECZYK. On LinkedIn, the same way, Ewa Kleczyk. And please reach out. Happy always to connect. My final thought related to imposter syndrome is, for all of you women listening to us, remember, you are not alone. Whatever you're feeling, we are all feeling. We are here together to empower each other, to join in circles. And I love the comment from Cynthia about her circle of support. Find the women that are going to support you. find your people that will always be there with you, and know that what you are feeling, most likely someone else is feeling as well. And knowing that you are not the only one experiencing whatever that might be, it is encouraging in itself, and reaching out to others and finding the friendlies, finding the women who can support you. It's really important to the first step for the success. Cynthia talked about fear. I would say fear is the best place. If you're fearing something, that means that is important to you, that you are afraid of taking that step, but take that step. And know that only fear can stop you from achieving whatever this is that you would like to achieve. And the final thought I want to mention is, we are living in a place, in a world where we want to achieve everything all at once, where instant gratification is what everyone thinks it's the key to success. I'm here to challenge that, but there is no limits on what you can achieve. I also will tell you, there is no time on what you need to achieve. Everyone's journey is different. Everyone's journey is unique. And let's embrace this, because I think this is very important. And especially when you're thinking about imposter syndrome, know where you are in life, know what is important to you, and find yourself around women and men who are supportive of your dreams and will give you the guidance and celebrate with you on whatever small steps that you are taking. So thank you so much for having me here.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Dr. Klezik. I believe that our audience really, they will reach out to you. You've shared that you'll have to find yourself that support group. I believe in support system, that support system where I can always run into. Whenever I'm sad, I'm happy, I always have that support group. And you've mentioned that, you know what, don't try to do everything all at once. It's your life. Just run your own race. Take it one step at a time, baby steps in the right direction, because you will be overwhelmed. You'll be overwhelmed. Thank you so much, Dr. Klezik, for sharing with the audience. And I believe really they will reach out to you because they need an accountability partner. Thank you so much. You can go ahead, Marisa, and please share with the audience.
Great. Yes, thank you so much. This has been such an amazing opportunity. I'm pretty new to this, so I've just presented myself to the public just a few months ago. So to be asked to speak has been a really great privilege, especially to be around all three of you, which is so amazing. So right now I have a private community on Facebook. I have my name there underneath where it is Marisa Todi. Todi, I go by Robinson, but Todi is my maiden name. The group that I have, it's a private community. It's called Rising Strong from Surviving to Thriving. And in that group, I offer the free strategies and techniques that I use to help me get to where I am and continue to grow. And I also offer one-on-one coaching where through a free call, we see if we're, good to work together. And then I develop a personalized program specifically for the individual for what they are going through and what they want to achieve. But if I had to say one last thing, I just want to remind everybody that everything you want is on the other side of fear. So when I think of it that way, and when I thought of it that way, fear just became so much smaller, because I thought if everything I want is on the other side of it, I got to jump over that fear to go get it. And another thing is, don't focus on how you're going to get there. Focus on the why. If you know why and where you want to be, the how works itself out. It seems like the scariest place, but if you don't even think about it and you go for it, it's amazing how everything falls into place for you. So you don't need a plan. Like I said, just focus on the why. And then one last thing I just wanted to mention that worked for me is to do it messy, do it scared, do it imperfect, and just do it anyways. So no matter what it is, small, consistent steps. The other day I heard a saying that I'm using now: small hinges swing big doors. So just take the small action steps every day, do it consistently, and big doors of opportunity will open.
Wow. Wow. I'm just blown away. I'm like, wow. Fear, like everything that you really want in life is on the opposite of fear. So if you do it scared, just do it anyways. Just do it anyways. So kings and queens, go out there. You've mentioned that your private group is rising strong from surviving to thriving. Go out there and reach out to Marisa, because you need someone who's gonna help you like to dream big. Don't focus on the how can I achieve this. If your why is big enough that it can scare you that you can't even sleep, then you will definitely achieve the how. So go out there and reach out to Marisa. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Marisa. Thank you so much to our amazing speakers today. Really, I am forever a student. I've been taking notes since everyone started speaking, and I'll go back and watch the replay, because honestly, your presence here at Rise to Greater Heights Network, I know how busy you are. For you to spare this 90 minutes to be with us here at Rise to Greater Heights Network, we don't take it for granted. We just want to appreciate you. We just want to say thank you, amazing speakers, for pouring your hearts out onto our audience and for sharing your wisdom, your knowledge, your nuggets around human rights. So we appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. And to our audience online, thank you so much for joining us here at Rise to Greater Heights Network, where you can turn your fears into greater success while seizing new opportunities. I hope from all these amazing messages, from all these amazing speakers, you've been inspired, you've been motivated, and you are ready to rise to greater heights. So do join us next week at the same time, same place. Thank you. Merci. Siyabonga.
Let him laugh, let him weep, let him yell, let him sing. All they wanna say. Let him lay me traps and men to pray to Jehovah, me I pray. Let him laugh, let him weep, let him yell, let him sing. All they wanna say. Let him lay me traps and men to pray to Jehovah, me I pray. Let I be me instead of playing games. For chasing fame, let somebody sweat the lack of flames. No, living my life to the fullest and shout out my halala to the fullest. Let my lungs out. I'm still rising up to greater heights as long as